Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah. Let's try this again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Really, it's such a great joy to be with all of you here, worshiping together as one family of God. I think the last time I came here was about 3 or 4 years ago during one of the Mission Sunday, and I'm so happy to be back amongst all of you with friends and close friends from Faith Baptist International Fellowship. And it gives me great privilege to share with you today's Bible passage. The theme that was given to me in this message was through every season, growing deeper with our faith in Jesus. It's a very interesting title that when Joey asked me to share, because actually this season that I'm going through right now in my life, I'm being challenged on my faith. I'm being challenged about who God is to me and my trust in Him as well. So I thought it was really a divine appointment when Joey asked me to share from Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 3. My name is Mark. Actually, I'm in the midst of joining a mission agency on World Outreach International. I hope that at the end of today's message, at the very least, I will have left a mark in your life. Hopefully it's a good mark, not a bad one. Yeah. So let's read today's scripture together, shall we? Yeah, from Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 3. And I got the verse from the Lexham Bible version. Shall we read together, right? 1, 2, 3.
Therefore, since we also have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, putting aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us, let us run with patience and endurance the race that has set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the originator and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, disregarding the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider the one who endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary in your souls and give up.
Let's open in a word of prayer, shall we? Father Lord, we thank you for today's Bible passage on Hebrews. Lord, we thank you that through Hebrews, Lord, we discover, Lord, that you are the originator, the author, the perfecter, Lord, the one who will bring to completion our faith as well. I pray that, Lord, as we examine your word, that Father, Lord, will your word speak to all my brothers and sisters here today. And as I speak, Lord, Father, I pray for the meditation of my heart as well, that you will be focused on you. And I pray that, Lord, the words that I speak will be honoring and will glorify your word. And I pray, Lord, that as we come and examine your words, you will open our minds, Lord. Open our minds on what true faith is as well, Lord. So I pray that you speak to all of us and you minister to us, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 3. And as I was doing this reflection on Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 3, I realized that the image of the race is in this passage. And the analogy that the writer of Hebrews talked about, that we are in this race. In this life, we are in this race for life. And the question that I'd like to start off first today is, which race are you running? Which race are you running? There's two kinds of race that we can run, I think, as we live our lives in Singapore right here. One is called the rat race, and the other one is the race of faith. Now, if you are focusing on being a rat race, there's only one big problem. And the problem is that the trouble with the rat race is that even if you win, you're still a rat. And that's by Lily Tomlin. She was a famous US comedian. And sometimes when we are focused on our achievements, we are focused on what we can do, on our studies, on our work, we realize that we are always rushing from one place to another. And the thing is, if we are focusing on running the race just for our own personal achievement and own personal glory, we might emerge to become a rat. But the opposite is also true. If we are focusing on running the race of faith, we are focusing on running the race of faith, then we will emerge that race with faith, not as a rat. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, don't be a rat? Don't be a rat. Don't be a rat. Right? And I'm sure in busy Singapore, right? Just in the morning when we take the trains, we just, the Monday morning, I'm sure when you're in the trains or when you're traveling to work, you're thinking, oh, there's another week of work, emails, things to be done. For some of us who are in the school, it's about clearing our assignments, another week of things to do. And, maybe a question I also like to think as we start today's message is, how can we remain faithful in an age of transitions? How can we remain faithful in an age of transitions? We are living in a great time of a lot of changes. So much so that change is the constant. And so many opportunities, right? And the temptation is what? The temptation is to grab them all. And I'd like to challenge us is that in the midst of transition, how can we be steadfast in our faith in God? How can we be true to God's calling in our lives, even in the midst of transition? And I think the author of Hebrews gives us some theological anchors that in the midst of the storms of our life, in the midst of our busyness of life, when things are swaying and moving, what can anchor us down? What can truly give us peace and hope? And to build that kind of deep faith that leads to faithfulness. And I think some of the things that we need to think about is in Hebrews verse 1, right? Chapter 12, verse 1. The author says, putting aside every weight. Right? Putting aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us. Right? What is the things that weigh us down in life? What can weigh us down in this race, right? We're in a race. Well, I'd like us to think about, are we weighed down by our possessions? Or more importantly, are we possessed by our possessions? Is that our only focus? To just put our faith in good things in life? Our qualifications, our finances, the people that we know so they can build a good network, so that they can give us a good job, they can introduce us to the right people, so we can advance in our life. If our focus is just to get better qualifications, more finances, a larger network, then we need to be careful because we can be possessed by our possessions. And we need to guard our life. And the author of Hebrews says that in this race of faith, we need to put aside every weight that holds us down. And the question I'd like us to think about, what is our ultimate sense of security in our life today? Is it built around good things? Or is it built around God things? Is it built around good things or God things? So this is the first thing, right? We need to understand that we can be weighed down by our possessions. The other thing that I think we can be weighed down is by success, right? We are always in a race of doing better, right? Society is now challenging us about doing more and doing it better, right? Expectations are getting higher and higher. Right? You look at in Singapore, the government is always talking about Singapore being a smart nation. And it's quite interesting that every time when I think about this, I realize that everything in my house is getting smarter, The phone is getting smarter, hence it's called a smartphone. My fridge can be a smart fridge, my TV is a smart TV. And the question I ask myself every day is, am I getting smarter? And I think about it, I don't think so, And technology today, businesses are going to AI, to data science, and they want all of this for what? Higher productivity. And if last year we had a good result, what's your KPI, your key performance indicator this year? It's only better. And this competition for success has unfortunately gone down to the infant care level. Do you know that? I sent Priscilla to infant care, and there was a day that I was reflecting about when one of her classmates had a birthday party. So in a class of infants, when one of the kids turns 1, right, the parents buy gifts for the rest of the other infants in the class. And suddenly I realized there seems to be a competition who can get the better birthday gift for the classmates. And for those who are in the infant care or the early childhood sector, sometimes you see this, right? Some parents will buy a lot of great gifts to celebrate their children, and there seems to be a race among the parents who can give the best. You know, I remember when I was a kindergarten kid, when we were all celebrating our birthdays, we were all judged on our popularity based on the size of the birthday cake. So the kid who had the largest birthday cake would get the most brownie points, literally, right? And sometimes you think about it, that's kind of what traps us in success, right? We only want to go better. And that can weigh us down. Again, in an age where we want more, we want better, the temptation again is to grab them all. And when we focus on that, we are weighed down. We go weary, we go tired. And the thing that I would like us to think about is, are we leading a successful life or a significant life? A significant life. In the race of faith, it is about significance, not about success. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, it's about significance, not success? Just turn to your neighbor. So, first thing that can weigh us down is possessions. The second thing that can weigh down is successes that weigh us down, because we're always trying to achieve more and better. Of course, the last thing that we must also take note that life is also trapped by sin. It's interesting that in Hebrews, in verse 1, other than putting aside every weight and the sin that ensnares us, it's like a trap. Sin traps us down. Sin causes us to be trapped by ungodly desires. Right? In our pursuit for possessions, in our pursuit of success, we realize that the root of that is a selfish spirit. It's a spirit that we want to rely on ourselves and not rely on God only. And maybe in the inside of us, there's also this belief that I am better and I am in control of my life and my destiny. And so, in these few verses, we realize that there are things that weigh us down and there's sin that traps us. So again, back to the question then, right? How can we remain faithful then? How can we remain faithful in an age of transitions? And I think the clue is going back to those verses as well, right? In Hebrews 12, verse 1 and verse 2. And I'd like us to think about several key things to think about. If you, right? Hebrews 12, verse 1 to 2. Yeah. Let me read it and again for everyone. Therefore, since we also have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, putting aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us, let us run with patient endurance the race that has been set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the originator and perfecter of faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, disregarding the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. It's interesting that in Hebrews 12, verse 1, we start, the author of Hebrews says, therefore. And every time when you see the word therefore in the Bible, you must ask the question, what is the therefore? And if you look at Hebrews chapter 11, if you go back and read the Bible in chapter Hebrews 11, there is a list of people that the author mentions who had great faith and who led significant lives. People like Noah, like Moses, like Enoch. And so the author of Hebrews tells us that there is this great cloud of witnesses, the people who have been there and done that. They have raced the race of life and have emerged with their faith. Right? These are the models that we can look to as well. And what was the common thread? What was their so-called formula for having great faith? And I think this is something that we can examine a bit deeper in what Hebrews verse 1 and 2 tells us. The first thing is in Hebrews 12:1, it says, let us run, right, with patient endurance, the race that has been set before us. If we say that we are not rats, and we are not in the rat race for success and possession, and we are in the race of faith, faithfulness is about endurance. It's about endurance. You know, in the army, I used to be a marathon rider, and we would train for 5 kilometers in the first month, 10 kilometers in the second month, and as we go closer to the race, we will clock 15 kilometers and 21 kilometers before we run the full 42 kilometers. And it really requires endurance. Why? Because when you're running along the race, I still remember looking at the signboards, and as you start on the 42 kilometer race and you're running, and the weather is very hot in Singapore, and there are people, you know, so crowded, and then you run for such a long time, and then you realize you only hit 2 kilometers. Wow, what a long race, what a tiring race. And you require what is really called endurance. And here the author of Hebrews says, in the race of faith, to be faithful, you need not just endurance, you need to be patient. Following Jesus requires endurance, patience, endurance. It is about, first, the daily discipline to throw away things that weigh us down. To throw away things that weigh us down in this race of faith. To know that our possessions are things that will pass away one day. To know that success is not as important as significance. It is also about daily repentance, to throw away the sin that traps us. To say that, Lord Jesus, I'm sorry I sinned. Please help me. It is also about daily obedience. To obey Jesus' commands, because in James it says, if you have faith, you will have peace. The race of faith is a marathon. It requires a steady, daily dependence on the character and teachings of God. And we have all these models. In Hebrews 11, the author tells us, therefore we have this great cloud of witnesses. And I believe that it's not only just these people in the Bible, but I'm sure that in each of our lives in Faith Baptist International Fellowship, we have models of faith. We have people who have gone before us. We have people who have modeled for us. And these are the things that we can look towards to encourage us. And to encourage one another to run the race with endurance. Faithfulness is also about focus. It's about focus. Why? Because in the verse it says, fixing our eyes on Jesus. Fixing our eyes on Jesus. What does fixing our eyes look like? It is like when I met my wife in Sydney for the first time when I was in university, and as she walked across the library, my eyes was fixed on MCA. Can you imagine that? Yes? Fixing our eyes on Jesus. Right? Are we willing to focus our lives on what is significant and not what is success? Because success can be fleeting. We can be successful the previous year, but in this year, we might not have the same success. We know that true significance lies in things with eternal impact. And why is it that we often focus on success rather than significance? Because we focus on reality. And we think that eternity is a fantasy. But in the scriptures, Jesus reminds us that heaven and earth will pass away when Jesus returns. Y'all know by the way, guys, that Jesus is really returning. You know that every year, when it comes to New Year, I'm always asking God and our Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, are you returning this year? Are you ready when Jesus returns? Guys, I think I'll look a big shot. I need some reminder. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, Jesus is returning? Jesus is returning. And He is coming. And we learn, right, in our, that from our scripture, it tells us that when the gospel of the kingdom is preached to all nations, He will return. And if that is so, what does faithfulness mean? Faithfulness means I'm focused on what God is doing. I'm focused and acting on what God says in spite of my opinions, my experience, my education. Faithfulness is also about when I'm focused on Jesus, I act on the truth. And obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. if like in the book of James, chapter 2, verse 17, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, it is dead. It is dead. And the thing is, maybe I don't know what season of life you're in, but if in a season of a difficult trial, of a testing, there's an encouragement in James chapter 1, verse 2 to 4. It says, consider it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And the steadfastness will have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. When we focus our lives on following Jesus, it does not mean that we will lead a perfect, smooth life, but it is when the trials come that test our faith. The product of that is steadfastness. And that's something we can take assurance with. The last thing that I think is the most encouraging for us, that the author of Hebrews reminds us, that Jesus is the originator. He's also the one that's the perfecter of faith. So faith and faithfulness is actually all about Jesus. You know, as I was preparing this devotion today, I was so comforted by these two words. That for a long time, when I was, even as a believer, I've always thought that God, I'm of little faith. I'm someone with so little faith. I'm not willing to trust God with a lot of things in my life. And that's why I pursue work achievement in my life. I pursue my qualifications because I want to succeed and want to be significant in society. But I realize that when it comes to faith, it is all about Jesus, because in the first place, the faith that I even have in my life comes from Him. Ephesians 2:8-9 reminds us that we are saved through faith, and this is not from ourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. So Jesus is the originator. He is also in the Greek word the author, and also the leader of our faith. And the other word that from the Lexham Bible that I really like is perfecter. You know, another way of interpreting the word perfecter, bringing it to perfection, is also finisher. Maybe you might think that your faith is small, and your faith is little. But you know, there's good news, brothers and sisters. Jesus is not only just the one that started your faith, He will also bring it to completion, to perfection. And if you think about it, friends, are we focused on our problems, or are we focused on God? A very simple illustration. If God is small to us, then our problems are big. Yes? If we have a small God in our minds and in our hearts, then our problems are big. But if we see that God is a big God, then our problems are small. What is our idea of Jesus? Are we focusing on Him? Are we also ready for the race of faith that talks about patient endurance? And most importantly, are we realizing that everything that we have belongs to Him and will be supplied by Him as well? Something also that I'd like to highlight, that in this race of faith, this is a race that's timed. You know, in every marathon, there's always a timer. And when the timer, there's always a cut-off timing. That doesn't matter where you are in this 42 kilometer, but when the race ends, right, there is a timeline. And whether you're at the starting point, still there, stuck on the starting point, or whether you're close to the finishing line, this is a timed race. There is a countdown. And in this race of faith in our lives, it ends when Jesus returns. Or when we are called back to the home with the Lord. And when that time comes, what will Jesus look at us? How will Jesus view our lives? Will He come and say to you, well done, my good and faithful servant, because you will focus on kingdom things and significant things? Or will, at the end of our lives, or when Jesus returns, will we all that we have left is just these possessions and all these successful things? And if that is so, these are not significant things. You know, in Kairos course, which I helped to facilitate, the word Kairos is talking about opportune time, or a time or a season of opportunities. And so from the present today till when Jesus returns, we are all in this season of opportunities. And the question I would like to ask us is, with the time that we have in our lives, are we focused? Are we running the race of faith? Or are we running the rat race? If we want to stay faithful in a time of transitions, let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author or the originator and the perfecter or the completer of our faith. And while we are still alive in our season, let's make use of every opportunity for His kingdom. You know, there is a very interesting quote by C.D. Studd, a missionary to China. He said, "Only one life will soon be passed. Only what's done for Christ will last." It's a picture of him playing cricket. And we look at his life story. He was a great cricket player. He actually represented England in the World Series of cricket. But after that Test cricket, as he was reading his Bible and at a Bible study, he started to ask himself, is playing cricket more important, or is doing things for God's kingdom more important? And that was one of the key moments that God put in his life to help him reflect and take a step of obedience to become a missionary to China. Even though he had many qualifications, he was from Cambridge, he was from a well-to-do family, he was a great sports cricket player, but he gave that all up so that he could preach the gospel for 15 years in China. And this was one thing that he wrote as a poem, as part of his journey. That one life will soon be past, only what's done for Christ will last. Just want to end with a very short story about myself. Okay, I joined World Outreach recently. 5 years ago, after a season of 8 months of unemployment, God led me to be an educator, a polytechnic lecturer. And in all my life, I've been doing well. I had double degrees. I was an auditor of a big 4 firm. I had a lot of things. But you know, that season of 8 months of unemployment shattered my entire life. And God led me to be a polytechnic lecturer, which was really out of, it was never my plans. I never planned to be an educator, but God was good. And I realized that passion, right? My teaching is in passion. And the thing was, at the start of that year, when I started teaching, I made a promise to God. I have a call to be a missionary to China in my life. And I said that, God, at the start of this job, I'm in charge of this batch of students. When this batch of students graduate, I will quit my job and go to China for missions. And that was in my first year. Fast forward 4 years later, I was having a lot of success in my career as a polytechnic lecturer. I was doing a lot of big things and great things. And after one Mission Sunday, the speaker came to me and said, "Mark, I don't know why, but the Holy Spirit has convicted my heart to share with you that, Mark, you've forgotten missions." I was like, "Are you really sure? Do you know who I am? In my church, I'm the vice chair of the missions committee. I am a Kairos head facilitator. I'm involved in so much things in missions. How dare you say that I've forgotten missions?" But you know that night when I went back to sleep, there was no peace in my heart. There was no peace in my heart. God was really speaking to me and saying, "Sunil, you remember what I want you to do?" And so I still remember a few weeks later, I met up with Uncle Jisang. Uncle Jisang is my mentor. We were at Pongo Waterway, and I sat him down and said, "Uncle Jisang, I think I might have to resign from my comfortable job in my polytechnic." And we were discussing and all that, and I still remember ending that conversation in tears. Why? Because I was so reluctant to go to the mission. I was so reluctant to church ministry, to go to the mission field. And I realized that God was challenging me. Do you have trust in me? Do you have faith in me? And in this season, I realized that God is teaching me what is true faith. If you want to know what is faith, just look at Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. And fast forward a few weeks later, my pastor came to me, and as we were having lunch, suddenly he brought up, hey, Mark, do you remember that 7 years ago when we were doing a Bible study in school, there was a promise that we made to God? And to make matters worse, he wrote it in his quiet time notes. And that night, he WhatsApped a picture of what I wrote in his quiet time notes about my promise to God that I will leave and I will quit. And I was like, oh God, I am the faithless one. You are the faithful one. Even when I was not faithful to your call, you chose to be faithful. Long story short, I quit my job last year, and when I resigned, my director was speaking to me, and Mark, we would love to have you stay, but I'm a fellow believer, and you know what, in my church, my pastor is preaching that 2019 is the year of missions. So I think you really should quit and should go to the mission field. And I was like, wow, this is not orchestrated. You know, there were a lot of things that I was very afraid when I resigned my job. I was afraid of finances. So I decided to be a part-time lecturer. And when I converted to be a part-time lecturer, you know what module they gave me? Cross-cultural management in China. And here I was preparing to go to China, and wow, I can teach on cross-cultural management in China and be paid for doing that. So as I'm preparing to go to China, I'm being paid. And I wasn't sure where to go in China. So last year I went to a particular city in China, and I wrote to them and said, I want to apply for this particular scholarship. So long story short, they wrote back and said, you're too old for the scholarship. But I wrote back to another city that I want to go, and they wrote that for that same scholarship, please apply, it's okay, you're not overage. For the same scholarship, don't ask me why. Yeah. But more importantly, that particular city, when I wrote and I applied for the scholarship, I got the deadline wrong. The thing was, the deadline was 31st March this year. I only realized the deadline on the 26th of March. And if, for those who might not be aware, applying to go to a university in China, you need a lot of documents to be authenticated. It is a 4-step process. The first step is to authenticate your university transcript with a notary. Then you need to go to the Singapore Academy of Law to authenticate the notary. Then you need to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to authenticate that the Academy of Law is real. And then you can only go to the China Visa Center to authenticate. And I had to do it in a matter of 5 days. I needed to find a lawyer, I needed to clear a medical exam, and at the end of the deadline, I'm supposed to pass a hard copy of my documents to China, to the university. And I was telling God, God, this is impossible. This is impossible. But the amazing thing was, not only did I manage to get all my documents in time, that Friday morning, just a day, about a few days before the deadline, a couple who were Singaporean, who were missionaries in the city, happened to be in Singapore. And my friend happened to be flying back to that city on that Friday morning. So I literally got all my documents, went to Changi Airport, and handed in the documents, and he flew all the way back to China and handed to the university admissions officer for me. And my story hasn't ended there. Just about a month ago, that university decided that they will go for an international tour to recruit international students. This is not one of the top universities in China, but they happened to come to Singapore. And it was they went to Nanyang Technological University just a month ago, and in that seminar, I got to know the dean of the School of International Students. And he said, I'm so happy that Singaporeans applied to the university. Let me know your application number. I'll look after you. Never in my mind I would ever dream that this university came all the way from China to Singapore to give a talk and recruiting international students. And you know, in that group of 20, there was only one Singaporean in that talk. And that was me. And so as I think about how the events of all these things led me to join World Outreach today as a mission partner, I realized that it is not about me. It is all about God. It is all about His faithfulness. He is the author. He is the completer. He is the finisher of my faith journey. So what did I really do? I just took a step of obedience. And maybe for some of you here, it's about being obedient. It's about being faithful and trusting in Him. So, I hope that my story encourages you. That in Hebrews, we know that He is such a wonderful and great God. He is such a big God. And because He's a big God, our problems are small. Shall we just bow our heads in a word of prayer? And I just like us to take a few moments to think about where you are in your faith journey with God. And I'd like to encourage us that if you are so focused on the rat race, I'd like to ask you to refocus your life. And if you are focused on their possessions, I'd like to encourage you today to refocus on what is significant. So let's just take a few moments to think about the scriptures today. And I want you to stick to God, and then I'll close it with a prayer.